Since Donald Trump's return to the Oval Office, leaks have been pouring in about his plans to reshape the government and about billionaire Elon Musk's plan to overhaul the federal workforce. These leaks range from documents related to sweeping tax changes to an email from a Justice Department official on investigating those who prosecuted Jan 6 rioters. And the leakers are making some very important people very angry. Despite this, there's nothing scandalous about the long-standing practice of leaking information on mismanagement in the government or the private sector. But the courage to leak information about such misdeeds to the press means whistleblowers face potential risks, from loss of employment to a lawsuit all the way to prison time. So let's talk about the basic steps of minimizing risk while sharing sensitive information with a news organization. As a general rule, be cautious about giving out tips on something that only you would know or material that only you would have access to. And take a moment to consider if the risk of leaking this material or information is even worthwhile, or if you feel you have a strong moral obligation to do so. But if you do, let's talk about what whistleblowers need to keep in mind to stay safe. First, before moving forward, consider, do you have a strong tip, and do you have any solid evidence to back it up? But more than that, consider whether your tip is really worth leaking to the press. For example, the broader public might not want to know that your neighbor is not picking up after her dog, but allegations of corruption or illegality among public officials, now that's certainly newsworthy. A large, well-resourced organization like a government agency may have various avenues of fishing out whistleblowers compared to a restaurant or a small business. So especially in those scenarios, be careful about sharing things that could make you identifiable as a source. Definitely don't use your work email to initiate contact or respond to a reporter. Instead, use encrypted messaging systems like Signal for private messaging, and consider sending your materials through the physical mail. Be sure to do all the leaking outside of your workplace. Don't use work Wi-Fi or work phones, especially if you've ever installed a software on your phone that could make it easier for your workplace to see what you're doing. Instead, call from phones that won't easily be traced back to you, like by going to a local business that you don't usually frequent and asking them to use their phone. Consider using a whistleblower submission system like SecureDrop that allows you to share documents anonymously through an encrypted Dropbox. Heads up though, to use SecureDrop, you have to use the Tor browser. Check out the news outlets that currently use SecureDrop by going to securedrop.org/directory. And now, let's talk about metadata. Sharing information may be less risky than sharing electronic documents because they can be embedded with information about the file, so-called metadata. To deal with hidden metadata, consider not sending the file itself, but take a picture of a printed document with an old-fashioned camera, not a smartphone, or taking a screenshot of the electronic file. Finally, sharing information with the press is not always an easy decision, but your information can help to hold powerful people and institutions accountable. Read more about how to leak to the press safely at the link on screen or in the caption below. And if you're a journalist who wants to know more about protecting the safety of your sources, read our guide on what your sources need to know at the link on screen. And you can find all of these links in the caption below.